Google has broken its 4-year silence on the issue of net neutrality. Now, as you guys can remember, yesterday, a number of websites slowed down their sites in order to raise awareness about the importance of net neutrality. And Google did release a statement finally being very, very clear and explicit about what they believe. They say that the internet, it's a level playing field where new entrants and established players can reach users on an equal footing. If internet access providers can block some services and cut special deals that prioritize some companies' content over others, that would threaten the innovation that makes the internet awesome.
So we're worried that for 4 years, between the years 2010 and 2014, Google didn't put out any strong statements. Now, nonetheless, they were on the side of net neutrality, and they have been in the past, and I think that that makes a big difference. Do I believe them that they weren't internally considering which way to go? You know, no, I don't believe that.
Yeah, because look, in either way, it's going to benefit Google. But if net neutrality is destroyed, it could potentially benefit Google even more, because now all of a sudden, you as this massive corporation don't have to worry about competition.
So these are the three things they must have considered. They'd be negligent not to consider it, right? So number one is, well, now we're going to have to pay a king's ransom to the Comcast and the AT&Ts of the world, and so that sucks for us because they're the internet providers. Our business is built on the internet. They've got us by the balls there. If the FCC has its way and net neutrality is killed. On the other hand, we're able to afford that ransom. None of our new competitors will be able to afford that ransom because they're too small. It will kill all of our competition forever and give us, in essence, a monopoly over a business where we make an incredible amount of money as it is, right? So that's not so bad. But I think that they then thought about the third thing, which is, wait, why are we a successful business? Because people really like the internet. They use the internet. They use our search engine in that internet, and that's how we make these billions of dollars. If we make it so that the internet is not as awesome, in their words, right? Maybe that hurts our business. And remember, the whole point of the company in the beginning, our slogan was "Don't do evil," right? So my guess is they were torn and they had real discussions, and in the end, decided to do the right thing.
Which is great.
Yeah,
that makes
so
me
God
very
bless.
Happy.
Yes. And now you have to understand how important this is, because in the last set of fights, where we beat back the forces that wanted to kill net neutrality, a lot of people think, oh, the internet rose up in its fury and it was the activists, etc. That is half true. But also the cavalry rode in, Facebook, Google, and all these giant companies that do a tremendous amount of lobbying because they have to. That's the system that we have now, right? And they give a lot of money to Democrats, but they also give a lot of money to Republicans. So when they say something, both parties go, wait a minute, now this affects my checkbook. Now I'm paying attention. Plus I got people mad in the streets, right? Now, in this time around, a lot of these bigger companies like Google were a little bit more, as we were just told you, non-committal, and they're on the fence. And it looked like we're in the middle of losing now. The FCC ruled against us, right? And so you need both sides. Yes, the people on the internet are great activists and have done great work, but apparently it wasn't enough. But here comes the cavalry, right?
And it's definitely good to know that. It makes me feel a little better about the net neutrality issue. And look, money in politics is the #1 issue that people should focus on. But net neutrality, if you destroy it, you really destroy free speech. You totally destroy people's opportunities to have their voices heard online, and it would be a disaster.
I honestly think it's the second most important issue.
Absolutely.
Not because, hey, invading Iraq again isn't super important and the wars we start and the global warming, et cetera, but because net neutrality affects every other issue. Because if you can't fight back on the internet, all there is the establishment media, and then we're done for. That's how we got into this mess in the first place.
And think about how much social media has helped to mobilize protesters and those who are politically active or who feel really passionately about any given issue. It's so important to have that type of access online and to have that voice heard online. So
in the end, Google, our guesses, had that internal debate, but it doesn't really matter because they have now arrived. And we wish they had come earlier, right? But my guess is with their tremendous spending in Washington that they're forced to do by the nature of how Washington works, that it could make an enormous difference. And if you now see politicians all of a sudden wavering, understand that it was the money, Lebowski, okay? And so here come the money. And Google is nothing to be messed with, right? So let's hope the cavalry does its job and that we join forces for the right thing. And in this case, it's to protect net neutrality and protect the internet for everybody so Google can keep making their money and we can continue to have the freedom that we have.